Welcome to a very special episode of What's Up Doc. Today, we mark a milestone in What's Up Doc, our 14th episode of Season 4. And I can think of no one more inspiring to feature than a true testament to resilience, hope, and transformation, Michelle O'Keefe. As a medical practitioner specializing in breast cancer detection, I've dedicated my life to early diagnosis and empowering women to take charge of their health. But today, I am here not only as a doctor, but as a storyteller, humbled by the incredible journey of a woman who has faced her greatest challenge head-on, the journey through breast cancer, and emerged stronger with a purpose that is truly extraordinary. Michelle is a breast cancer survivor who has turned her pain into purpose by founding Embracing All Real Survivors, a compassionate NGO dedicated to guiding and supporting cancer patients and their families from diagnosis to treatment and beyond. What makes Embracing All Real Survivors so remarkable is its mission to bring hope and education and community through innovative programs such as patient navigation, counseling services, a thrift shop, screening drives, and even a unique dragon boat racing initiative. Yes, you heard that right. Michelle introduced dragon boat racing to Trinidad and Tobago's breast cancer survivors, transforming adversity into activity. It's a powerful symbol of resilience, where the strength of the paddle matches the strength of the spirit, offering her members a renewed lease on life, filled with excitement and fulfillment. Michelle will share her inspiring story, how she looked cancer in the eye and refused to give in. She'll tell us all about the healing power of sport, the importance of community, and her unwavering belief that life after cancer can be more vibrant and meaningful than ever before. So join us on this heart-filled journey, this extra special 14th episode of What's Up Doc, as we celebrate a survivor who's not just beaten cancer, but is now helping others to do the same. Stay tuned, you're about to meet a true hero.
Before you take your omega-3 supplement, check for the natural product number NPN on the label. This unique code shows that Jameson products have approved rigorous Health Canada testing for safety and effectiveness. Unlike some supplements that carry disclaimers like not approved by the FDA, Jameson Omega-3 is the trusted choice, offering 1800 milligrams of EPA and DHA for heart health. Choose quality. Choose Jameson.
Do you need treatment for obesity or any related abdominal procedures? The community hospital now offers minimally invasive laparoscopic surgery done by an American-trained, board-certified surgeon with over 20 years' experience. Give us a call at 235-5479 for more information.
The Community Hospital of Seventh-day Adventist,
where good private health care is affordable.
Always, we appreciate you starting your day with us. Let's get into this morning's first conversation.
Is the country's healthcare system more at risk more than ever?
Why it has remained unaddressed for so long.
Political parties get lots of cash, big cash from financiers, and then when they get that now, you can't account for it.
But it's really the specialist nurses who we are in a greater shortfall for.
We can tap into the resources and have them, at least form some mentorship programs.
Highlight our food systems, and which will attract persons from all over the world to come and experience something that actually supports the local economy.
We're lucky that we have a vibrant legal system that allows change to take place, and it's not that matters are just swept under the carpet and discrimination is allowed to be perpetrated.
A lot of people don't know that there were attempts to ban the carnival, suppress the carnival.
I am Emiliana Beechan, and I am a mental health and conflict resolution consultant. Welcome to Mind Matters, the show where we explore the intricate world of mental health and the art of conflict resolution. Join us as we hear from mental health professionals, conflict resolution experts, and everyday people who have transformed their lives through understanding and communication. Mind Matters, coming soon to WESN Content Capital.
My name is Dr. Stephen Carroll, the CEO at Community Hospital of Seventh-day Adventist, and we are committed to making good private healthcare affordable.
For all your medical needs, including dental, radiology, laparoscopy, behavioral and mental health, along with many other services, contact us for more information at 235-5479.
Community Hospital of Seventh-day Adventist,
where good private health care is affordable.
Before you take your omega-3 supplement, check for the natural product number NPN on the label. This unique code shows that Jameson products have approved rigorous Health Canada testing for safety and effectiveness. Unlike some supplements that carry disclaimers like not approved by the FDA, Jameson Omega-3 is the trusted choice, offering 1800 milligrams of EPA and DHA for heart health. Choose quality. Choose Jameson.
You are watching Strictly Legal on WESN Content Capital. Just give an overview of what exactly is that split arrangement.
In the studio, now you don't need to register nothing. You don't need. We can do that another time. But then it becomes a hit, and then everybody starts to want to claim.
The laws that predate many of the independent countries' constitutions are going to be those colonial laws.
We know there are an infinite amount of circumstances that would lead to a murder.
I have a great idea and I have a great concept, but until it's actually expressed, it does not become intellectual property.
Accomplishments or targets of a forensic accountant is to quantify what may have been lost.
We believe in different criminals and we manipulated the law and we're exploiting the system.
A responsible journalist will reach out to the person who they have the information on for a comment.
So Michelle, again, thank you for coming on the show today. And I called you to talk on the show about breast cancer from diagnosis and beyond. And in particular, it's because you yourself, you're a cancer patient, you're a survivor, and you formed this wonderful organization, charitable organization, an NGO called Embracing All Real Survivors. A lot of people not aware of what you do. From where I sit as a doctor, from the time I make a diagnosis of breast cancer, for instance, I would call Michelle, and a lot of my colleagues are familiar with you. You are the point person. You are the person who fill in the gaps that exist in the healthcare system now to be able to hold that patient's hand and relatives, yes, and escort them or navigate them through the healthcare system, clinics, surgery, aftercare, and beyond. Talk to us first off about what made you decide, as a breast cancer survivor yourself, what initiated this drive to form such an amazing organization.
So it's my pleasure to be on set with you, having this discussion. And as you know, the pleasure is always mine, since you also have been instrumental in placing that trust in us taking the patients forward from the time there's a suspicion of breast cancer.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I was diagnosed with breast cancer over 20 years ago, I had the privilege of choosing my oncologist to be able to manage the diagnosis. This was after having 2 surgeries done. And it was not that I made the decision to support persons with cancer. I believe he was the one that did that. So while I was undergoing treatment, he would have asked if it's okay to give out my phone number to his patients. And that is where my journey started. Along the way, initially from that stage, there were persons who had to have surgery, who were very nervous about what steps to take after being diagnosed, those who were depressed. And from then, while I was on treatment, I was also with them, going through their journey, holding their hands.
So that was the primordial stages of this wonderful NGO.
Yes.
I remember it would have been at least 15 years ago when we first met.
Yes.
As doctor-patient in
Yes.
Cancer Society.
Yes.
And we immediately clicked because we shared the same take on what's missing in terms of patient care, cancer patient care.
Correct.
After the diagnosis. It was very telling because you, from a patient perspective, and me from a doctor perspective, I was frustrated because I felt as a doctor, I didn't have the time to dedicate to patients, to hold their hand and do the right counseling. And I didn't feel equipped and properly trained. A lot of doctors feel the same way.
Yes.
And you as a patient, you felt, well, who's holding my hand? Who's guiding me? Who's talking to me? And you filled in that gap. Yes. And, you know, and I like how you mentioned the patients are going through depression. Yes, they'll be going through denial, anger. And I think that's how I first started to call you for help because of your personal experience. And I, as a doctor, you're limited because you don't know how it feels to be on the other end. Correct. Going through this life-altering diagnosis.
Correct.
So I remember the first patient I passed on to you, she was in absolute denial and didn't even want treatment. How do you deal with somebody like that?
For me, and I usually take the first couple steps before the rest of the ladies would provide, because, okay, so what we try to do, because of the different types of breast cancer, we try to put someone as close to that person that is experiencing the same thing. So whether it's a triple negative, triple positive, stuff like that, so that we can have them on a better level playing field. Because some women think that what one woman is diagnosed with can be compared, and so they decide to share information,
right,
which may not work for them.
Right.
So
it's like a mentoring kind of thing.
Correct.
Okay.
So we place someone with the same type, you know, and maybe sometimes as close in age also. How do I get past the denial and all those reasons why maybe God turned his back on you? That those are the sort of things that come forward. Sometimes it's because they believe it's a spiritual thing that they are going through. I listen to them a lot. I allow the patient to express a lot of what they're feeling.
Yeah.
And then I take that same information and I turn it into a conversation where you can now bring that person to some sort of realization. You know, you're accepting what they're saying maybe, but then let's listen to what the doctor is saying also, what your team of doctors, because when we hit the public healthcare system, it becomes a team of doctors. Yes?
Describe to me, I'm sorry to
yes?
Interrupt, but describe to me from the time, let's say I give you that phone call, Michelle, I have a patient, Mrs. X. She's been diagnosed with ductal carcinoma,
yes.
grade 3. And here she is, and she needs to go to St. James for her treatment. Walk us through that process from the time you get that first phone call, now talking to Mrs. X and meeting her down at St. James to escort her into the clinic.
So first of all, even before I speak to Mrs. X, with the information that you provide me with, because we speak to the patient together, I start the process of getting that patient seen as quickly as possible.
Because time is of the essence.
Correct. Cancer loves time. So we need to determine, is this patient going to be seen by the surgical team first or medical oncologist first?
Right.
And that is where that starts for me. Getting that patient in maybe within 24 hours, depending on the day of the week we are talking.
Yes.
So as little as 24 hours, I don't accept past 48 hours. That patient must be seen. And then I interact with the patient to say, okay, you're meeting me at this location. I give the full description as to which building you're coming to. And we meet and we start by going in to see that doctor together. So whichever one of the clinics that that person needs to be seen first, that's where we start that journey.
And I must say that would definitely help the patients, because all my patients give me feedback. After meeting Michelle, they're so happy to meet Michelle and her team, because you're like their new BFF, new best friend forever.
Yes.
Because you're holding their hand, you are telling them what to expect, so that you immediately dissipate a lot of anxiety and fear, and anticipating the worst going through the halls of those hospitals. Even in surgery, I understand. You are there with the patients, holding their hand, and when they open their eyes in recovery, the doctors allow you, Michelle, to be there in post-op recovery to give that support to patients.
Because my concern to the patient is to see someone who has been through and to know you are back with us.
Yeah.
So I'm that last face you see, and I must be the first face that you see.
That's amazing.
So you're back with us. Even though the medical staff is wonderful, they are awesome bunch,
They're
but
stretched.
that makes, and that makes a difference to the patient to want
This
to
is
do
what I
this.
want the audience out there to understand, that there are limitations in all healthcare sectors,
Correct.
not just this country,
Yes.
where the numbers will surpass the amount of doctors and
Yes.
nurses to provide that quality care. When we're talking about holding a patient's hand, giving them the support, the emotional support that they need, advice, that gap.
Yes.
You are providing that pivotal gap, so that really makes you stand out from all other NGOs as far as my experience goes.
Yes, I actually go into the homes also of the patients.
Talk about nutrition as well. You advise on nutrition. You tell them about what to expect if they're doing chemotherapy.
Yes, we do. And we prepare you, in other words, what is chemotherapy? What is radiation? What to expect? It may happen, it may not.
Correct.
So we start even that conversation. So you know that, some of the traditional discussion that, no, it's not about this. We've done this. I'm alive, right? So what are some of the side effects that you can expect but may never experience? And we give you both experiences from different persons. So we give you those that, for instance, I would have gained 45 pounds during chemo. There are many of us that gain weight. There are many of us that overeat with chemo.
Wow.
And then there are some of us who have different experiences. So we give it to you as a package, and we say, listen, yours may be even different. So we are there with you. We are there whichever way it goes. And we are always a phone call away. We are always a message away. We have no business hours.
Yes, and this is all free of charge.
This
is all
free of
voluntary.
charge. Yes, it is.
Now, a wonderful aspect of what your organization does is dragon boat paddling.
Yes.
And that was first researched and pioneered by Dr. Mackenzie. We were talking about it earlier.
Yes.
Who researched into the benefits of specifically this dragon boat racing, this repetitive, continuous, strenuous exercise of the upper body, of really the whole body, when you do dragon boat paddling.
Yes.
And you've brought it to Trinidad and Tobago through your organization. Tell me about one, as a person who's doing it yourself and a breast cancer survivor, how do you feel? What are the effects of it? And in terms of the sisterhood that you've developed,
Right.
how's that benefited the group as a whole?
So that is actually one of the key components, because we have an international organization that really backs the breast cancer survivors dragon boat paddling. And it is not just about, so initially Dr. Mackenzie would have said, oh no, these women can't do this. And he would have given them land training in preparation, not expecting they can go in a boat on that water and compete like anybody else.
Yes.
The comprehensive action that goes with it, you remember you have to warm up. You have to go out there on this boat. You have to cool down. So
and you're using your whole body.
Exactly.
Now, traditionally, I know doctors would have advised patients, don't use too much strenuous exercise after you've done curative breast cancer surgery, which is mastectomy and lymph node removal.
Correct.
Because of the complication of lymphedema, which for the audience, it's painful swelling of that particular arm from which you remove the breast and the lymph nodes.
Yes.
This particular doctor from Canada, he had discovered, no, actually it helps.
Correct.
And you've seen it help and benefit your...
some of the ladies. So if you don't have, I have never had lymphedema. If you don't have lymphedema, your chance of, or the risk of having it while you're dragon boat paddling is 0.
Yes.
Right? So that's one. And if you do, because of the pain and that, you know, usually the patient would have to use like a sleeve and stuff like that out there on that water, and they're using that arm. They don't need a sleeve. It helped tremendously with the pain management, right? It works.
So
it has
pain,
been proven.
the swelling goes. If you don't have it, it doesn't even come. It's negligible. It's curative, so it really helps with the post-op complications of lymphedema. But psychologically...
I was just about to tell you also mentally.
Yeah, it's gotta be fun, right? You're out there in the elements.
Correct. And because we have not had the privilege to have a second team of breast cancer survivors compete against us, we have been competing against normal people.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that is even more for us. It's more, you know, fun. It's more, you know, we feel very competitive.
And it's giving the patients a new lease on life to get more control of themselves and their bodies, because they had just gone through an arduous process of putting their lives, their hands in doctors' hands.
Yes.
So now it's giving them the opportunity just to own up and take charge.
It's a therapy that is out of this world. It really is, because they really look forward. Some of them who can't come into that water initially, they would stay because they may have just gone through the processes. You know, they would stay on that shoreline until eventually they get into that boat with us.
Fantastic. Yes. Besides dragon boat racing, one more thing which is amazing is the thrift shop that you have as well to support materialistically, like books, wigs, clothes for women who have to go through this process, may not be able to afford certain clothes and wigs and so on. You provide all that free of charge.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So there is a Trinidadian who has been living in the UK for maybe 30 years or more. And a couple of years ago we met. And right through the COVID, we were having these conversations because we were just all excited to do something more for cancer patients and survivors. And so we came as a partnership, we came together, and she is actually a wig specialist. She goes under the name Jill's Wigs World, and literally we started getting support from persons in the UK.
Oh, that's amazing.
Shipping the items from her to us, and from us
All
now to
donations.
all donations.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And we are able now to distribute free of charge to our family.
Literally, you are taking the patient from that call from the
Yes.
doctor. Michelle, I have a patient who's tested positive for breast cancer.
Yes.
From there, straight on to treatment and all forms of treatment.
Yes.
You'll be holding their hand and the family's hands.
Yes.
Giving them the emotional, psychological, mental, material support.
Correct.
And giving them that outlet, dragon boat paddling,
Yes.
something to not just improve their mental, emotional well-being, but physically
Correct.
deal with that complication of lymphedema. And then you have all of this. So, Michelle, before we leave, I always ask my guests, we could talk so much, but time is limited. All my guests I asked to leave with the audience if there was just one golden nugget, one piece of advice that you have for people out there who may be undergoing treatment, just got that diagnosis, or know somebody who's just been given that life-altering diagnosis. What would be that piece of advice?
I would say to contact us and let us show you that this is, I call it, doable.
Yep.
And even those who have survived much longer than I have, we can show you that we say we live beyond hope. So we live and we continue to have normal lives, and we have fun-filled lives. So contact us. We are there for you. We are there for your relatives.
So there's always hope.
There is
always hope.
We live beyond the hope. We beyond all of that right now. We live. Yes? As I say to some persons too, we are in and around you. You may not realize it. We are just right there next to you.
You're not just surviving, you're thriving, you're making a difference. And I
Correct.
thank you so much, Michelle, for
You're
coming
most
on.
welcome. Our phone contact. So we have 496-EARS, which is 496-3277. You can also find us on Facebook. We try to show, some of the activities that we do using social media. And we also do online. So if even we can't get to you or you can't organize something like that, we do online
Fantastic.
sessions also.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Okay.